Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining, those of you online especially. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So if you guys know me, you know I'm a natural girl and I'm super passionate about teaching people the things that I have learned over time. And so I just want to kind of start today by telling you that I am by no means a doctor. I am just a mama who has learned a lot of things that is making a huge difference in our family's wellness. And the more I learn, the more passionate I become about sharing what I've learned with other people so that they too can protect their families and really take that ownership in their family's wellness and in their health. And so, again, I'm not here to diagnose, treat, cure, any of that. There are very strict rules about those of us in the natural world about what we can say. And so we're going to just do our best to educate you on what I can say, and let you kind of be the CEO of your health, and you can ask me questions in private if there are things I can't talk about, or you can do research. There's so much out there that you can research on. Everybody say hi, Adam. Hi, Adam. Of course, I told him ahead of time, do all that you need to do before. Yeah. But hey, at least those of you in Arizona got to see the back of Adam. You got to see the back of his shirt. Okay, so when we all think of home, right? Like we all want our home to be a safe place, right? We want our home to be a place of comfort, where friends of our kids, right, when they're young, feel comfortable coming over. We want it to be that place where people feel comfortable. There's all the sayings like there's no place like home, and home is where the heart is, and home sweet home. And so I feel like we all innately want our home to be one of those safe havens, not only for us and our family who lives there, but anyone who comes to visit or stays with us, or we host them in our homes. So everybody wants that, right, for their house and for their family. But the thing that most people don't think about and don't know and don't realize is that the very things that are in our homes very likely can be making us sick, making our family sick. And it's scary, and sometimes it can be overwhelming to be like, what? Like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know. Like, those of us that are faith-based people, we just think God will protect me. And I've kind of just gotten to a point where while I'm here on this earth, I want to make sure that my life is the life of abundance that I feel God calls us to. And if I can do things to protect my family and to make sure that we're not living with pain and suffering, I want to do everything that I know to do to help make sure that that's a higher risk, a higher probability, that we will be safe and protected and have that abundant life. And so it's really sobering to realize the very real effects that these misleading products that are out there that have hidden toxins in them, that they can really have on our health. But it's also empowering to kind of take that ownership and to look things up and to really become the CEO of your family's wellness, and the things that we do have control over. And so tonight we're going to be talking about all of those steps to doing that. And so I'm going to go back one. So before we go into the steps to protecting your home, I want to kind of share a story with you. My friend Becky is here with me. Those of you that are online, she's here with me in person. You can come on up. And she's going to be kind of sharing her story and her journey about learning about some of these things that we're going to talk about tonight, but share her own personal experience with you. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So my name's Becky Carson, and I actually came to a class exactly like this a little over a year ago. It was March 9th of 2020, actually.
I remember the date.
I remember the date because the day after I came to this meeting, this training, on March 10th, I got a phone call saying that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I remember your training because when I got that diagnosis, I was extremely shocked because I'm healthy, I work out, I eat pretty good. Those are all the things I tell myself. I'm a runner. And when I got that diagnosis, I was like, where is this coming from? Like, how did this even happen to me? And everything that you talked about in that class was so fresh in my mind that it really caused me to go look deeper at all the things in my house. And my shampoos, my lotions, my clothes, my food. And again, I thought I was pretty healthy. I mean, I did triathlons. Again, I run, I work out. I did vegan for a year, a plant-based diet. I'm healthy, I think. And as I started to look at some of those products, I mean, there were just a couple things that really stand out in my mind. I wore a backpack for work every day for 15, 20 years. And I looked up the material in the backpack, and it's a carcinogen. The material in the backpack that I was wearing is a known warning that there's carcinogen products used to make that backpack. Well, I wore it over my body, and I got breast cancer on my left side, and then in my lymph nodes as well. And I think about those straps and what did that cause, and there's such a kind of like preponderance of evidence. I would never say it's just one thing. But as I went through my cupboards and kind of my life and what I was being exposed to, it just is a little drop here and a little drop there and a little drop here and a little drop there. And pretty soon you're just full of this toxic mess, which again, I felt good. I did not feel sick or ill or tired or anything. I felt good. And that's what was so shocking. And other stuff like my cell phone. When I would run for years, I'd tuck my cell phone into my sports bra, like right here. And this is where I got breast cancer, right there. So was it the phone? Was it the backpack? Was it my laundry detergent, my dryer, the milk, the hormones in the milk, the meat? The other thing that I looked at a lot was the fruits and vegetables that I ate. And I have never, until your class, I had literally never rinsed fruit ever, not even underwater. I was just like, I'm like, it's fruit. I'll be fine. I'm eating healthy. It's fruit. And after your class, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to rinse everything, the pesticides. And you kind of go and you read about all this stuff. And so I read about all that, and I started using the thieves, and you'll probably talk about it, but I started like rinsing all my veggies. And I told my mom this earlier today, strawberries. Oh, I just love strawberries. So I'm got my strawberries, I'm soaking them in the thieves mixture. And I was kind of like dozing out, just kind of like zoning out and staring at this strawberry bowl, and up from the strawberries emerges spiders and like bugs up from the strawberry. And I thought I would have just popped that in my mouth before. I just would have eaten it and I wouldn't have known. And so I think that what you'll talk about tonight it's just so important that you at least have the awareness around what's surrounding you. And we can't escape it. I mean, that's something that I can't escape it. Look at our world, the exhaust, the gasoline, the fumes in the air. We can't escape it, but we can do little things. I swapped out my laundry detergent. I just did one little thing at a time as I could handle it. And then pretty soon, I'm on auto order now. And now I'm like, oh, I'm getting low on laundry. And then it comes again. But it just, at least for me, the little tiny steps that you can take or that I could take for myself to put up a shield against all the toxic warfare that attacks every human and living species on our planet is under attack. And so I think what you're doing is great, and the education that you'll provide everyone tonight will be amazing. And update, so it's a year later, and I've gone, just in case you're curious, I'm okay, I'm gonna live.
Yay!
So that's a good thing. But I was diagnosed with, it was stage 3A breast cancer. It had spread to 4 lymph nodes. And I went right into chemotherapy. lost a bunch of hair, my eyebrows. Then I did surgery, more chemo, surgery, more chemo, and I've got 4 rounds of chemotherapy left. But as it stands today, I'm disease-free, no evidence, and I feel great. I ran a 5K this weekend.
How'd that go?
I finished.
Awesome.
Wasn't fast, but I finished.
You probably did better than I would have.
So thanks for the opportunity to talk, and hope you guys enjoy.
Yes. And I love, can I have you just share just a little bit of piece about the community that rallied around you during that? Because I know, I think a lot of you, or most of you that are on this, have joined this Facebook community that Jen and I have recently started, along with some of our other leaders. And kind of what she's about to share is a big piece of why we want to create this kind of a community, because it really does make a huge impact when you need it most.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. So with a diagnosis like cancer, I looked at just my whole being, mind, body, spirit, and how your body responds to some emotional things going on in your life. Whether you're aware of it or not, your body is aware. And our muscles and our body holds memories inside of them. And it manifests itself in various ways. And for me, it manifested itself as cancer. And I just remember when I've always historically been a very more like private person. I'm very much like can do it on my own, lift yourself up by the bootstraps, and like, I got this, I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm confident, like I can do anything. That's kind of been my attitude towards life, which has served me well. And when I got cancer, I was so shaken to the core that, I think like never let a crisis go unused. I think some politicians said that. And God says that too. Every crisis in our life has a purpose and a reason. And so for me, it was that wall just being broken down to say, you cannot do this alone. You can't do this alone. And so when I received the diagnosis, I just remember praying to God, like, what possible good could ever come from this? Like, what is the good that's going to come from this? And I reached out to some of my immediate family members that had some just not estranged, but just some strained relationships. And there's 7 of us kids and my mom. And so I reached out to all of them and had just really beautiful moments of reconciliation and just understanding. Not that I have to be best friends with them all, but just an understanding was brought forward. And so that was a piece. And then another piece was, again, kind of more of a private person. And I put together an email list of people that I knew were women who were of faith and prayers and like strong praying women. And I sent out an email that basically said, hey guys, I know we kind of know each other, but I have some big problems ahead of me and I'm really scared and I don't want to go through this alone and I need help. And I don't even know what that help is. I have absolutely no idea. And when I sent that out, I just was like, who knows what? I had no idea what to expect.
They could have ghosted you.
I could have got ghosted. That would have been horrible. But I just threw that out there as just a hope, that people would be there. And I mean, I was just blown away. One of my neighbors started a prayer circle for me. Every time I would go into chemotherapy, I'd have 5, 10, 15, 25 people that would come into my driveway before chemotherapy and just lay hands on me and pray for healing and for strength and, all the things. And it was so overwhelming. It was such an overwhelming experience to see, again, God uses so many different people in so many different ways. And so that was another just huge, for me, like another piece of that wall that's broken down. And that was really met with other people and just being vulnerable enough to say, like, I'm I'm scared as hell. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to ask for. I don't even know. I'm like emotionally incompetent in this area. And
understandably,
yes, never been through this. And so, and that's just a whole piece of when you approach your life, and I'm not an expert, but my perspective is, as you approach your life with health, it's mind, it's body, it's spirit. And when you get your mind right, and you get your body right, and your spirit all aligned, you can really experience some overwhelming joy. I mean, you really can. In the midst of a crisis, you can experience the presence of God anyway, probably to higher levels than I ever expected as well. So that's a little bit about, is that what you wanted me to share?
Yes, that's wonderful.
So that's a piece.
A lot of private went on, right? A lot of private stuff you just shared.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Sure.
I appreciate that.
Enjoy.
And you guys, this is why I do this. Like, this is why I do these classes, is because if it can plant a seed that helped you. I mean, I didn't even know that piece, that it was the next day. I was like, how did you remember the date? Like, I don't even have any idea what month that was. Like, but that it planted the seed. And then when you were in that moment, you knew what to look for to help you, even as you're going through treatments, to start eliminating those things so your body's not working overtime. And now we get to share that with other people to help prevent. And you guys, we're not sharing this to say, well, if you do these things, you'll never get cancer, or you'll never get heart disease, or you'll never, that's not what we're saying. We are just trying to educate people on the accumulation of all the different puzzle pieces that really do affect our health. We have a friend who's a chaplain at Cancer Centers of America in Arizona. And we went through a season of really deep hurt, actually from a church. And he, good friends of ours, like sat down with us and had this talk and said, at Cancer Centers of America, people are not admitted to receive treatment in our center unless they are willing to go to forgiveness classes and read this book about forgiveness and all of that. And it's because they know how very much those emotional things really do affect our health and our wellness. Even so that at Cancer Centers of America, they will not treat you unless you're willing to look at the whole picture and you're willing to do those things. And so it really is such a piece of all of it. It is mind, it is body, it is soul or spirit. It is all of it. And again, a plug for our Facebook group. We are encouraging and speaking into all of those areas of life. Jen, you need to join Facebook or Facebook just so that you can see the post. You don't have to friend people. You don't have to do anything, just so you can see the encouragement that we're putting in there and the things we're putting there, because our heart really is a whole body image of wellness for you, not just oils and supplements, but it's everything. It's encouraging you, it's uplifting you, it's motivating you and challenging you to do the hard things that really do help you to grow and help you to be in that good space, whether it's mind, body, or soul. So today we are going to really dive in and focus on the body part of it with the outside factors that really can harm our health slowly over time. I did a class last week, actually it was Monday, I think, on gut health, which is a different piece of the body part of that and some of those environmental factors. But our purpose for doing this is, again, to plant seeds. It is not to overwhelm you and feel like, oh my gosh, I have to like throw everything in my house away and start over. That's not the best way to do this. We're going to kind of show you some things to watch out for and show you a very easy, simple process to slowly start switching things out. Choose what's your priority and start from there. So I want to start off by kind of talking about identifying the harmful things that are in your products. So we're going to talk about that first. The second step is to then work on replacing those harmful things that you do find. Again, it's slowly over time, even as Becky, she did the same thing, even though she was in a crisis, she still did some things slowly and over time. And then the third piece is just a lifestyle, a full picture lifestyle, where eventually you are addressing all of those pieces. It's not just one area of life, it is a whole lifestyle picture. And so I want to start by talking a little bit about the statistics about some of these harmful things in our homes. So the average modern day household uses hundreds of toxic chemicals each day, a large percentage of them before you even walk out the door in the morning. And I've heard for us women, it's about 300, and it's before breakfast. Like being exposed to, putting it on your body. The toxic chemicals are hidden away in the ingredients of our all-purpose cleaners, our laundry products, our shampoo, conditioner, air fresheners, body wash, facial cleansers, hand soaps, moisturizers. You guys, it's the stuff we use every day consistently. And so many hidden toxin ingredients are in those. Most of them are things that we use every day. And there's new evidence that directly connects our daily toxin exposures in common household products to so many health concerns, and they're being gathered more and more all the time. The fact of the matter is that modern families are in the midst of a health crisis, and our toxic concoctions are contributing to the problem. I even heard a doctor say that this whole pandemic that we've been through would have been completely avoidable had most of us been proactive in our wellness and not already depleted and not in a healthy state with our immune systems, that this whole thing could have been avoided. We have to wake up. This is something that we can control. You guys, there's so many things that we cannot control. But this is something that we can control. And so I want to inspire you. I want to give you a little bit of education to help you start knowing what to look for and make this a simple process for you so that you can really be the gatekeeper of your home and help make better choices for your family. The idea of a total home makeover, right? Getting rid of everything all at once is super daunting. So again, this is simple. Pick one thing at a time, pick what area you want to focus on, and we will go from there. And we will be here to help you every step of the way. All right. So these 3 steps. All right. What's the big deal, right? Some of you might even be thinking, I just don't know if I buy all of that. Like, I don't know, like, you know, my grandma used bleach like her whole life and she was fine, you know, or I just don't know, like we've used the same laundry soap forever and like, it just doesn't seem like, you know, that really made a difference. And I want to just speak to 100 years ago for a second. Let's just think for a second, what are the things 100 years ago that people were suffering from on the routine or even dying from? And those of you that are, you can either put it in the chat or if you want to unmute, or those of you that are here, if you have one, what are some of the things from 100 years ago, like as compared to this list right here of a lot of the things that people are getting sick from? Were a lot of these the major issues 100 years ago, or was it different?
Very different 100 years ago.
What were the things 100 years ago?
Vinegar.
Falling off of like a tractor.
Yes, the things that people were dying from 100 years ago as compared to now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Falling off a tractor, cutting their hand off.
Mhm.
I mean, like
Falling off the roof of the barn.
not diseases, more like
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you guys on here can hear them. They're basically saying like bad accidents, right? Farming accidents, car accidents. There were illness, right? But it wasn't like this, everyone gets something.
Yeah.
Like it is now. And there's a lot of things that contribute to that. Again, tonight, we're going to focus on the things in our environment that we actually have control over, that we can choose to have in our homes or not have in our homes. And so, some of us might still be like, I just don't know. I'm kind of skeptical. Really, can all these things really be making us sick? And it's really easy to see why some are skeptical about the detrimental long-term or even short-term effects of what toxins have on our health. After all, the government, right, has said, sure, you can put that product on the shelves, so like, how can it really be bad? And I think probably this year more than ever, a lot of us are starting to maybe think that a little deeper on really how much is the government doing to protect us from harm, from long-term disease and illness, from right. I think we're probably, no matter where we stand, right, on the world issues or political issues, I think we all probably can agree that there's even for some of us, at least a little bit of questioning on really how much are they protecting us. And so I think that if we really dive deeper into that, I think that you will be very awakened to some realities that are just not what they used to be. Definitely not what they used to be. And so I really hope that this inspires you to just be proactive. The point and the goal is not to scare you or make you worried or have anxiety about things. It really is to just encourage you to be the gatekeeper of your home. And so I'm sure you all know of people that have struggled with things on that list, but I want to talk just a little bit about some of these statistics. So in Europe, 1,300 or more substances have been completely banned from being used in products and different things there in the market. Like, they cannot sell products in Europe that have 1,300 ingredients that have been banned. Out of those 1,300, the US has only banned 11 of those 1,300. And it's like, I'm pretty sure the people in Europe, like, their bodies are created the same way mine is. Like, why is it bad for them, but not for us in the US? Like, kind of makes you wonder, right? It makes you think a little bit further into things. Studies have shown that babies are born with almost 300 chemicals in their cord blood.
Oh, that's horrible.
90% of baby bubble baths, wipes, shampoos, lotions have toxic chemicals in them. And we just don't know. Like, people just don't know, because we just think if it's on the shelf, it's okay. And it's like, okay, if there's just a little bit that the government says is okay, because it's just a little bit, right? If there's just this much in there, then that's okay. But then when you add in little bits in your laundry soap, and a little bit in your hand soap, and a little bit in your hairspray that you're breathing in, and a little bit more in your candles that you're, burning in your house, and you're breathing that in, it adds up to this traumatic amount of chemicals in your body. And it causes this thing called bioaccumulation. And bioaccumulation is the process by which our bodies accumulate toxins at a rate that is more and faster than your body knows how to get rid of. And I think we all know that when our body can't break things down and get rid of it, it stays housed in our bodies, and it feeds off of illness, disease. They cling to it, they stay, and then they start growing. I don't know if you guys know this, but sugar actually feeds like sickness bacteria and things. So if you ever have a cold or stomach flu or whatever, sugary things is one of the worst things that you can do, because it not only suppresses the immune system, but it attracts and feeds those bacteria. And so when our body is getting so much, like, it's way more than God ever intended our bodies to know what to do with. And even if you think back to Bible days, right? What did they have in Bible days? They had the animals to hunt, and that's what they ate. They didn't inject their animals with hormones or chemicals or things to get better beef or faster or grow better, or they had plants and crops, vegetables. Same thing. The soils weren't depleted back then. They didn't have all these quick fixes, to make more money or have enough crop. And our bodies were never designed to know what to do with all of those synthetically made things that we're being bombarded with. And it creates that bioaccumulation. They say that disease and illness happens because of two reasons. Hereditary obviously is a factor, but Becky actually shared with me, what was the percentage?
85% of breast cancer is not genetic.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but she said 85% of breast cancer is not genetic, only 15% is. The other 85% of it is environmental toxic overload.
Yeah, you're having an unnatural immune response to the toxins in the environment. An overreaction.
So a lot of us are led to believe it's hereditary, which some of it is.
Sometimes, yeah.
Some of it is. But the two main reasons why people get that other 85% is a lack of nutrients. And when you think about the soils are depleted, our foods have stuff sprayed all over them, unless we do organic and we trust that it's really organic. Or we are getting toxic overload in our body, that bioaccumulation. More is going in than our body knows how to get rid of. And so a study in 2010 published in the Journal of Environmental Health found that women who used a combination of cleaning products in their homes are up to 110% more likely to develop breast cancer than those who rarely use them. And so not only things that have chemicals in them, but they've been linked to serious health issues. But many have not been thoroughly tested for their impact on health, nor the effects of chemical combinations often considered. Now, this is key, you guys. The government might say this one ingredient is okay in this small amount in this thing, right? But often the synergistic effect of these combinations, whether it's your shampoo and your conditioner combination, or whether it's this ingredient and this ingredient together, but they only look at individual, the synergistic effect of the combinations are worse than the individual chemicals alone. On top of all of this, if it's not bad enough already, most conventional cleaning products are deceptive because manufacturers aren't required to specify ingredients. This is something most people don't know. Because we don't know all of the toxic chemicals to which we are exposing ourselves, our families, and our pets when we clean our homes, wash our hair, launder our clothes, and the list goes on and on and on. Not to mention, a lot of these chemicals are endocrine disruptors. What does that mean? Endocrine disruptors are chemical compounds that interfere with healthy hormone production. This includes interfering with normal production, imitating and modifying natural hormones, and upsetting hormone signaling and proper binding. You guys, this is really scary stuff. I'm going to show you a few things. I went to a class from Dr. Ali 2 years ago now, and he presented these articles to us about how 60 to 100% of the male fish are now intersex fish. There's a greater than 90% probability to find eggs in the testicles of male fish, which eggs are supposed to be females. And if these hormones are mimicking estrogen, it is literally changing the genders of these fish as they're, what's the word? Reproducing. There we go. And it's because these chemicals are getting in the waters where they live and they're surrounded by it and all of that stuff. Same thing with frogs. Pesticides wreak havoc on the sex lives of adult male frogs, emasculating 75% of them and turning 1 in 10 into a female frog. The 75% have no testosterone or sperm and cannot reproduce. That's going to be a problem for our frogs. It's also a problem for our men. More recently born men have lower testosterone levels than their earlier born peers. Testosterone levels are decreased by about 45%. And yet we wonder why infertility rates are rising. And we're having lots of issues. Lots of women are having hormone imbalances. It's because a lot of these harmful chemicals mimic estrogen, and it is putting our body all out of whack. All right. And I know like some of us, we go to the store, right? And we're like, ooh, look, this one says natural. Like I'm good to go. I'm going to get this one and we'll be good. Like I'm making good choices here. And you're doing good with your thought process. And some of them might be, but an estimated 95% of the products are actually guilty of what we call greenwashing. And greenwashing is, let me see, where is it? I lost it. There was a definition somewhere.
Misleading product claims.
It is misleading product claims. Yes, basically. Okay. So it is encouraging, right, that we can find more and more natural things on the shelves. So I think we all can agree we're finding more and more. Like even Walmart has their own, Equate brand of like natural deodorants, right? So like people are becoming more and more aware. Stores are making more and more of them. But I want to teach you that you really have to know what to look for to know if it really is fully natural and pure and it doesn't have harmful things in them, right? When things are labeled green, we all know we pay more for them, right? They can increase the price on those, the cost up to 20 to 30%. So you can imagine that some companies that maybe just want to make a buck might be doing that, making it appear to be natural when really there's some things that are hidden in them that you really don't want. Right? Even if it says the word natural, there's not a lot of regulation according to FDA and just what's required out there for advertising and marketing. And so we're going to get into teaching you what to look for. All right. So this very first step is to identify the harmful products being used in your home. Be familiar with the common red flag ingredients and learn to read labels. All right, so we are going to go over some of these things right now. So if you want to take a screenshot, if you can, I don't know if my picture blocks it, I hope not. But if so, just let me know because I have this in a graphic that I can send or post in the event for those of you that are online. But this is a great graphic. This is not all of the ingredients to watch out for, but this is a really great starting point. And the one in the top, fragrance, is the easiest one to look for because you're going to see the word fragrance or a form of it like perfume, or the French version is it like parfum, or I don't know, PARFUM, like you'll figure it out, right? It's like one of the words that's easy, right, to find or to notice. But you will find these things are things to watch out for. So this kind of, I'll just go over a few of them maybe, but I encourage you to take a picture of this or ask me for the graphics so you can kind of start doing some research on your own. Just look up the name of these ingredients and just look up if it's helpful, harmful, if it has harmful side effects, and really like dive into things that way. So fragrance, we'll just talk about, it's linked to cancer, asthma, hormone disruption, the central nervous system, and a lot of things. Now, if your product that you're using has a good smell, this word is probably on there. And the thing about fragrance is that, let me find it because I know it's in these notes. I'm like kind of going off my head instead of my notes, and then I can't find it. Or maybe my pages got out of order or something. Okay, I'll just go off my memory. So the word fragrance can be accumulation of thousands of chemicals. That it started as a like not having to share your perfume recipes to keep like, you know, like kind of copywriting. And so they just said, we'll accumulate all of these ingredients under the title fragrance to help companies like keep their recipes private. But people, you know how they always try to find loopholes? This is their loophole for putting a lot of those harmful chemicals under the word fragrance. And most of them are harmful to your health, whether they're known carcinogen or different things that can cause a lot of things on this list. But fragrance is one of those that's real easy. So if you're at home and you're nearby, grab a product in your cabinet. Why don't you just look on this list real quick, see if you find any of these. Fragrance is the most common one that I think we find. And if you see that, you don't want it. You do not want that product because you do not know which thousands of chemicals are under that title of fragrance. And most times the smell is artificially made in a lab. And so it's a foreign substance that our body doesn't know what to do with, and it adds to that accumulation in our bodies. Let's see, another one that I'll just choose to talk about is phthalates. That's the fourth one down. It's spelled kind of weird. PHTH is how it starts. This is commonly found in detergents, lotions, soaps, and shampoos. And the hard thing about it is that it causes hormone disruption. It can contribute to cancer and also infertility. A lot of that is because they are endocrine disruptors. And they mimic that estrogen. And so a lot of these, you can see some of the stuff is found in toothpaste. Some is in cleaning products. I see deodorant on there. Let's see, sunscreen is on there. So you really want to start looking at these products and choose where you want to begin, whether it's in a room in your house and you want to start in the bathroom and you just pick one product a month to switch out, or maybe it's as you run out and need to buy and replace that item. Start somewhere, start with something and just do one thing at a time. But this is a really great starting point for what ingredients to watch out for, and be able to kind of start on that journey of having a safer home. And when we say this, I always encourage people to start with things that are already in your budget. Right? Start with those things that you use every day. Replace those household things that you're already buying every month. Right? What are some things that we buy every month? If you guys want to put it in the comments, you can put it in the comments. Ladies that are here, if you want to get us started, what are laundry soap? Yep. Toothpaste. Hand soap.
Lotion.
Yep. Makeup. Hairspray. I make my own hairspray now. It's really easy to message me if you want the recipe. It's just sugar water and oils. It's like super easy.
Did you mention shampoo?
Yes. Yep. Shampoo, conditioner. I mean, it's all the personal care products, right? Cleaning, right? Dishwasher, right?
Perfume.
Running our dishwasher, our perfume. Yep. A lot of us wear that every day. Yep. These are the things that you want to start with. Okay. It's the stuff that you're using day after day after day, because that consistent daily exposure is going to have a more dramatic impact on your wellness, with that slow and steady harming you. And so really look at the things that it's in your monthly budget, that you're buying all the time, that you have to use daily. That's a really great place to kind of start with, when you're thinking of, this ditch and switch idea, to get rid of. And I understand that the old is familiar, you guys. It's convenient, it's easy. And you're right, it is. I'm not going to lie and say that it's like, oh, it's a piece of cake. Maybe making my hairspray is a piece of cake, because it is. It takes me like 2 minutes. And sugar is really cheap. Sugar and water, right? But it's not all easy. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, it's so easy, you just have to do it. It's like, it takes effort. It really does, right? To break old habits, right? And patterns. And it's just easier to just keep doing what I've been doing. But I will tell you guys, when you get the phone call, or when you find out your child or whatever it is, I don't want that for you. I don't want you to look back and say, I wish I would have just taken the time, or I wish I would have spent the extra $3 to get the natural, or I wish, I want this for you and your families. I want you to live an abundant life, not with regrets and suffering. So ditch and switch. My computer's beeping at me. There we go. All right. So these baby steps, we want to look at the alternatives, right? If you are not already a Young Living member, I'm going to kind of from here go through some alternatives that I have found that have been very helpful. I've done a lot of research myself, and I've basically found that majority of the products that are out there on the market, I don't know if I can trust them. You can do a lot of digging and you can do a lot of research. And when you dig those things up, it's still very hard to know who's regulating that what they're saying is true. And I'm a person with trust issues. I'm working on it. But I have done research and I've seen it firsthand. And that's why I've chosen to trust Young Living. It's also made it so much easier for me, where I do not have to sit there and read every label of every product in the store. And it's like the things that Young Living has that I can switch, I've done that. And there's some things I've switched and I've said, oh, that's not really my favorite. I'm going to keep looking for something else. And I read the labels and I do all the work, but it's only a few things rather than everything. And so I'm going to kind of go into some of the alternatives that we have found, that my family has slowly taken these baby steps to switch out one thing at a time so that we're moving those baby steps in the right direction. And so step 2 is to replace those things. The first step is identify what are the ingredients, what products do we want to get rid of? And then step 2 is to actually replace them. So I'm going to give you some ideas on some of the things and tell you just a little bit about each of them before we end our night tonight. So this first one is the Thieves Household Cleaner. And this is one of my absolute favorite products. And one, because it's actually cheaper than the harmful stuff. And I'm really frugal. And we all know that like the natural stuff, they usually charge 20 to 30% more. You guys, I'm telling you, this one is actually cheaper than the harmful stuff that's out there for many reasons. One is that this is an all-purpose cleaner that you literally can use this one cleaner to replace just about every other cleaner that you buy. So let's just think for a second, right? You buy Windex, there's what, $3, let's say. You buy bath toilet bowl cleaner, there's another $3. You buy the bathtub shower tile spray cleaner. You buy stuff to mop with. You buy, let's see, help me. What else do we clean with? What other, oh, dusting. You buy dusting cleaner. Like you get the point, right? All of that adds up, right? That's just 5 right there. Let's say 3 times 5, right? $3, let's say. So that's $15 to get all of those 5 cleaners that you need for all these different things. Well, this is a concentrate, and it only takes 2 capfuls to make a whole 32-ounce all-purpose cleaner. And I just used the one for everything. And guess what? With only 2 capfuls, it cost me $1.50. $15 to clean all the things. And I only went through 5, right? It's not even all the things, probably a lot more. Or $1.50. Right? And you can use this for other things. I put just a little bit of this in my mopping bucket, and that's what I use to mop. I have a steam mop now, so I just put a little bit in the little compartment, which is great. I've used this to make hand soap. I've used this to make dishwashing soap. I've used this to make, did I say hand soap? Hand soap. There's like tons of things you can make with this, right?
Hey, Shannon.
Yes.
It is really good if you have an older dog or a puppy that has potty accidents.
Ah, that is a good one. Yes. It not only cleans, but gets rid of the smell, doesn't it, Becca?
Yes, it does. It's wonderful.
It does. And it smells so fresh and clean. It's got some cinnamon bark in it. And so it smells a little bit like Christmas. And if you want to change different scents, you can add different oils to it too. I know my friend Jana, who I think was going to join, I'm not sure if she's on here or if she's going to catch the replay, but she was like, I'm going to add orange to it so that it's like fall, like the cinnamon and the clove. And then you add the orange, it's like fall wonderfulness, but it smells wonderful. It's cheap. It is safe for septic systems. It's safe for pets. It's just absolutely wonderful. You're going to love it. And I highly encourage it. It's an easy button for all the cleaning things. But with that, we have a whole Thieves line of products. But I want to tell you, like, what is Thieves for those of you that maybe don't know, and how do you know it's actually going to clean, right? That's the big question, right? Like, okay, it's natural, it's not going to harm me, but is it actually going to clean? Like Becca says, yes, it cleans up the pet issues, right? And you can Google, let's just say you can Google tests. And I'll just say that because I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to actually share that to be compliant. So we'll just say you can Google. You can Google whether it really works or not. But I want to tell you the background of Thieves. So basically, Thieves was inspired by a legend of 15th century French thieves. So yes, actually like robbers, that's where the name comes from. These thieves who formulated a special combination of botanicals and herbs while robbing the dead and the dying. And this blend was clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, rosemary, and eucalyptus. And these spice traders who were robbing the dead and the dying were not getting sick. Imagine that. So when they got caught, they were asked to reveal their secrets to lessen their punishment or their sentence. And they said these were the things that they were putting all over themselves before they would go and rob these houses of people. And they found the combination of those is a powerhouse immune support and a respiratory support. And so we use that knowledge of this to create our Thieves essential oil blend. And that is the core of our whole Thieves line, which is laundry soap, dish soap, hand soap, all of the above, all that you can think of is Thieves. So here's a fun recipe for you. Just so that you have kind of an idea of how you can use that. You can make a shower scrub. And so it's just 1 capful of that Thieves Cleaner concentrate, a 1/2 cup of baking soda, and then 5 drops of lemon. And you kind of stir it up and it makes like a paste that you can then put over your bathtub and use kind of a brush that's good for whatever your bathtub is made of to clean your bathtub. And it really works wonders. We did a Thieves cleaning challenge and it was really fun to see people's before and after pictures. I should probably have that in here. Maybe for the next one, we'll have that in there. But I want to move on and talk about fragrance. This is another thing in our homes that is really important that I want to teach you about to know the importance of switching this out. So fragrance can be one of the most dangerous words in the English language when it's found in the ingredient list. The word fragrance or perfume, this is where the fact was that I couldn't find, may actually refer to a blend of many undisclosed ingredients, all bundled up under the umbrella of one word. In order to protect trade secrets, fragrance gets a free pass from full disclosure. This outdated regulation, designed to conceal ingredients from the eyes of corporate competitors, now does the same for consumers who are inclined to scan labels for harmful ingredients. And in 2015, the International Fragrance Association released a master list of more than 3,999 chemicals used by most manufacturers. And the list includes carcinogens, endocrine disruptors, reproductive toxicants, and numerous allergens, just to name a few. And they found that all of these are really harmful. And a really simple switch to getting rid of those fragrances, especially fragrances in our homes, is using essential oils. And not only does it make your house smell wonderful, but it actually can benefit your body or your emotions. It's kind of all of the above, body, mind, and soul. And so here's a fun recipe. I actually have this one diffusing in my house tonight. So the ladies that are here can speak to if it's a yay or a nay for their preferences. But it's just a few drops of a couple different oils. Some of my favorites, lime is definitely one of my favorites, and ylang ylang is one of my new favorites. You can look up the health benefits of these. There's a website, reach out to me if you want to know what it is, but it'll tell you the studies, which is pretty awesome. All right, so personal care products. We kind of introed, the different things that you can do, and all the things that these harmful chemicals are hidden in. So this is just a big list just to get you thinking. These are the things you want to check. These are the things you use every day.
What can you tell me about the toothpaste?
The Thieves toothpaste? I have an awesome story about the Thieves toothpaste, actually. So how many years ago now? It was after Tate was born. Ever since after Tate was born, he's 10 now. So probably at least 8 years ago. I all of a sudden would go to the dentist and they said my gums were in horrible shape. You know how they like stick the thing in your gums and they give you numbers? Mine were 3s, 4s, some 5s. They were not good. Actually, not 3s. 3s are good. I think 4s is when it starts getting bad. And she's like, I can tell that you take care of your teeth. I don't really know why, but like, we're going to have to do deep cleanings every 3 months and do prescription, like medicine every time you come. And it was just such a hard thing for me because I was like, I don't know what else to do. Like I'm doing all the things and I'm still having trouble. And so when I found Young Living, I saw someone share that they had started using the Thieves Dentarome toothpaste. We have like 3 or 4 different ones. And she said that it dramatically helped her gum health. And I said, ooh, I'm going to try it. And I will tell you guys, I did not like the taste of it at first. I tried it and I was like, oh, and I already used a natural toothpaste. So I already was used to different texture or whatever, I was used to not like the foaming and stuff. And I thought, oh goodness, okay, I'm going to try this for like 2 weeks. Okay. And if I still cannot stand the taste of it, then I guess I'm going to have to try something else. And it got close to the 2 weeks. And I was like, oh man, like this worked for her. And I think I read like 2 other stories, same thing. People had the same results. And I was like, oh, I gotta keep at this. And eventually, right, I got used to it and it was fine. And I will tell you, during that season, we had a change in jobs. And so we didn't have dental coverage. So I didn't go to the dentist for a year, but I was needing every 3-month deep cleans, and prescriptions. And so I just thought, well, I'm going to keep using this Thieves toothpaste. And when we get a new job, I'll go. So when I finally went back, all of my numbers were 3s and I only had 2 4s. Only 2 teeth were 4s. And most of mine were 4s and a couple were 5s before. And that was the only thing I changed. Like I was already using electric toothbrush before that. I was using the water pick thing. Like I was doing all the things. Thieves toothpaste. I'm still good. Yes. Actually, when we moved here, I went and the lady there, I'd never heard of this before. She said, you're doing great. Why don't you come back in a year? I was like, wait a minute. Isn't it supposed to be every 6 months, And she's like, yeah, but you're doing great. And I said, yeah, but I used to, like, this is what they used to do. She's like, oh, well, she's like, I mean, I guess knowing that, yes, you can come in 6 months. So yes, if you want to, which I do, because I believe in being proactive, right? So I love it now. And they actually have a new one that's the whitening toothpaste. And for people that are not used to natural toothpaste, that's the one I recommend because it has a lot more minty flavor in it and it foams more than the other ones. And so I always recommend people try that one unless they're like me and they really need the gum support. I usually recommend the whitening toothpaste. All right, we're going to move on and talk about makeup. Again, I'm not going to go really deep into this, but we have Young Living. Some people think Young Living is just oils. It's like a whole lifestyle company. It's everything, supplements, everyday products. I mean, it's almost everything. We don't have toilet paper. We have most of the necessities, that we need every day. And so we have a whole line of makeup as well that I love. I use the mascara. I use the Savvy Minerals foundation and blush and contouring stuff. I forget what it's called. But anyway, lots of options for you. And it doesn't have any of the harmful stuff that's in it. If you look at the list on the left, the ditch, talc, bismuth, parabens, phthalates, petrochemicals, all of that. They've banned over 6,000 ingredients from our Savvy Minerals line, which is incredible. And it's all vegan. And it's healthy for people who have, restrictions and stuff, which is awesome. I want to tell you just real quick. Obviously, we said there's a whole Thieves line, right? This is the Thieves laundry soap. It's not very big, right? Like here's the size of my head for those of you that are like online, right? It's not very big. And you think, oh my gosh, I just paid like, I forget how much it is, $30-ish, maybe 32. I just paid $30 for this tiny thing of laundry soap. And here's the thing about Young Living. Everything's a concentrate. Most everything is a concentrate. And the reason is because they don't want you to pay for water. They also don't want you to pay extra shipping for water. They also don't want to have more plastic containers out in the world. And so it is highly concentrated. I use this bottle to make 3 of these. This is a 32-ounce pump. And I dilute it. I put some Thieves cleaner in there. I put some oils in there and water. And I use this. And the last time I lost track of how long it lasted me, but my 3 bottles, which is all of this, at 10 months, I was about halfway through them. Now, obviously it depends how much laundry you do, right? Like the time frame.
You're dirty.
I'm very dirty. I have 3 boys. I do have 3 boys. And I will say that they're more stinky now. So I do like put a few extra squirts, like just to be safe. But it's just wonderful. It works well. Your clothes are not going to smell extra scented. And that's just because all of that is synthetic fragrance. But there are recipes you can do like scent boosters and things to help with that if that's what you desire. I will also tell you very briefly, dry your sheets. That should be one of the first things on your list to ditch. Whether they're scented or not, believe it or not, the all clear detergents, they have to use chemicals to get rid of the scent.
How do you
So-
soften your clothes?
There's a recipe that you can find. I just don't really care, I guess. I probably should start caring because my towels are kind of getting a little crisp. Could be because they're old. I don't know. But there's a recipe with like vinegar and other things together that you can use to put as kind of like a laundry softener in your washer.
Oh.
Yeah. There's lots of DIYs.
Wool
Pinterest is your favorite. I use the wool dryer balls for my dryer. And the secret is to put a safety pin on it because that helps get the electricity to where the electricity doesn't get caught in your towels, especially the bigger things. And also if you over dry your stuff, it will have more static in it as well. So those are two little tips that I'll give for you for the wool dryer balls. Some people use the baby wipes. We have in our kids line or seedlings line, we make baby wipes. Some people use those as their dryer sheets. Some people use those as their eye makeup remover. I actually use those whenever mine runs out. So lots of options. We do have a baby line. I'm not going to go into this very much. I said the statistic earlier about how many harmful chemicals are in baby products. We have a seedlings line. This one is for the babies. They even have a diaper cream rash that we actually use sometimes just on skin struggles. Yeah, there's just so many. It's a lifestyle company, so many options. And again, I have just chosen to just trust as much as I need from Young Living because it's the easy button for me. Like I've already done the research on the company and I know their standard. I don't have to read all the ingredients and I don't have to go to all the stores and like try and find those things. And I just, it's a peace of mind and knowing that the hard work's already done for me. Here's the Kid Sense line. They do have toothpaste and lotions, kind of all of your normal stuff. In addition to oils, they have their own oil line. And then step 3 is just implementing a lifestyle of wellness, purpose, and abundance by taking full advantage of your Young Living membership. So again, if you don't have a membership yet, and you want to get started on that and on that journey with us, we'll be there to help you every step of the way in doing that and create a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan on what you want to prioritize for your family. And we want to help you get that taken care of. And so I want to just very briefly before we end, talk about the options for getting started. If you find yourself in that boat today, or if you want to just keep this in mind as you continue to do research, we have a few different starter kits that are kind of a discounted bundle, depending on what you're really wanting to start with. So this first one is our Everyday Oils Premium Starter Kit. It comes with 12 oils. I will tell you guys, this starter kit, I use these oils more than anything else, even still now today, 3+ years later. And they do that on purpose. These are some of the most common oils that people use, but it's also, some of them are for respiratory support. Some are for digestive support. Some are for muscle support and discomfort. Some are for cleansing. Some are for uplifting. Some are for stress. It's kind of like everything you might possibly need all in this one bundle. And it's over 60% off. It comes with everything in this picture, your diffuser, which is adorable. I have mine over there and I still have my snowflakes on it from Christmas. But it's awesome. It comes with a few samples, and including a Thieves cleaner spray, a little travel size one, hand sanitizer, and all the oils, which is a great thing if you're wanting to find natural solutions for health struggles, or even just to get rid of the fragrance, the synthetic fragrance that you might be using currently in your home. Another option is the Thieves Premium Starter Kit. And this one is a lot of your household things all in a bundle. So it's also discounted. This one's over, I think, 40 or 50% off when you get it in this bundle as compared to just getting one thing at a time. Again, it comes with everything in this picture. It comes with 2 of these Thieves concentrates for the Thieves cleaner. It comes with 2 hand soaps, 2 small Thieves sprays. They might even be the fruit and veggie sprays. I don't remember. A Thieves mouthwash, which I really like. It's spicy, but
yeah. And didn't you like the Thieves soap there? That's one of those. And once again, it's a concentrate. So
yeah.
I think I diluted that like 3s.
Yep, you totally can. Yep. Some people use it just how it is, or some people use half and then I tell them you can fill the rest up with water to just make it go farther. Some people don't like it diluted if they like all the fuzzy bubbles. So it's just a preference thing, but yes, it comes as a concentrate, even in the pumps. And so a lot of people dilute that as it is. So that's the Thieves Premium Starter Kit. Ningxia is more for people who want cellular health, and they want almost like a high antioxidant fruit juice vitamin supplement to support just about every body system. We have a bundle for that as well. We didn't really talk too much about the body wellness side of it tonight, but know that that's an option. But then we also have this basic starter kit, which actually is on sale through the end of this month. It's on sale for $25, and it's kind of just like a little starter kit bundle. And then you can customize and pick different like single products to add to it and make your own custom bundle specific to whatever you personally want. So it comes with our stress away oil. It comes with the thieves mints, 2 of the samples of the Ningxia, and then little travel samples of our hand sanitizer. So that's a really great option too. That way you can kind of pick whatever your price point is, and you can specifically get the individual things that you want for you. So we've talked about a lot of things tonight, I know. And again, remember, this isn't, oh my goodness, I'm just going to do it all. I'm so overwhelmed, or I'm going to do nothing. That's not the goal. That's not my hope. My hope is to inspire you to think, what was the one thing that stood out to me most? And let's start there. All right. So as we are closing up the night tonight, here are some things to remember. There are not really swaps. They're upgrades. Okay. So other than the Thieves Cleaner, which is actually cheaper, even though it's the natural version, you're going to pay a few dollars more, or for some, it's going to feel like quite a bit more. And ultimately you get to decide which ones you decide, yes, that's where I'm starting. I'm going to have to take some time to really feel like that one's worth it. Or you have to pick what is specific to you. But I will tell you, it has made such a difference for our family. For my family in particular, my son went from, he was getting sick just about every other week. And it took a friend caring enough to tell me, have you tried essential oils? And I said, no, they kind of scare me a little bit. And she said, I will help you. Even though actually that friend didn't help me very much. It was a friend from church who actually really came alongside me. The other one had a baby, and then she kind of disappeared. So when I found a friend from church who was doing classes like what we're doing tonight, I asked her if I could join her. And she's the one who's actually walked alongside me. And that's my hope. That's my desire, is to walk alongside you. And those of you that are on the call, you invited a friend to join us. They want to walk alongside you as well. And so remember, it is not everything at once, right? It's one thing at a time. And some of these products are going to be different. The toothpaste, it's different. Mm-hmm. But when you get the results that you have, you eventually don't care and you love them, and your body changes, right? You get used to things that are different. So, like, for example, toothpaste that doesn't foam, that takes some getting used to. So some of these will be different than what you're used to. But I promise you it's worth it. You are worth it. Your children are worth it. Your generations after you are worth it. And it really does have that big of an impact. And so if you're one of those that wants that lifestyle change and wants to make those slow and steady changes, the best way is to join our rewards program. Right now it's called Essential Rewards. It's going to be changing, getting a new name here soon when our new website launches. But it's basically a monthly program where you can pick what you want, you customize what comes, but you can also earn, it's kind of like Kohl's Cash, but also freebies on top of Kohl's Cash. And so you get a lot of free products. There's been months where I switched out a ton of stuff and I ordered, let's say 300 worth in things. But with that order, I got $85 in my reward points, Kohl's Cash. And I got about $200 worth of products for free in that one order. So it's kind of like buy one, get one free. Even though it's a bigger order, right? There's a lot of freebies. So you can customize whatever size, whatever freebies, however much or how little you want. It is truly customizable to you. So this is what I suggest, because we all love freebies and discounts. And so your health, it is an investment, right? It's not an expense. And I can tell you that now that we've done these changes and we've supported my son, we are a family who has not been to the doctor for a sick visit in 1.5 years. We have a wellness cabinet here that we know what to do with, that we can do whether it's being proactive or whether it's preventing, or whether it's really, really supporting when we're feeling like something's coming. But also when you switch these things out, your body is not working overtime. When we're putting the harmful stuff in, our body is working so hard to try and get all of that out. When you're not constantly putting in all the harmful things, your body can really work hard at doing what it's supposed to be doing and what it was created to do. And so it really is an investment, not an expense. It's worth it. I promise every piece of it is worth it. There's a way you can also earn income just to plant the seed. You might be like me someday where you try things, you see huge results, and you want other people to have freedom and wellness. And you have options, whether it's just to get your products paid for, or whether it's like me, I want this to replace our whole family's income, our main source of income, because we lost it a few years ago, and I don't ever want to do that again. And so this is my plan. And I get to bless people like all of you that I care about. And I want what's best for each of you. And what greater joy than that to be my job. And so make your wish list. Make your list of the things you want to start with. And I really want to thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight, to taking a Thursday evening. Everyone's busy, right? And you took the time to come join us tonight. And so I would love to hear from each of you what your biggest takeaway was. I want to know what stood out to you most, and what is that area that you want to start with on trying to make your home a healthy home. So I hope you all have a great night, and I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Bye guys, have a good night.